ties the score at 6. McHale, the Celtics' leading scorer at 22, and Parrish is second. Lane Beer, no favorite in Boston for sure. Hits the shot, even though he was born in this town, believe it or not.
That was a very difficult shot. Kevin McHale, one of the best defensive players we have in the league. Putting extreme pressure, but Lambier over the top.
Bill Lambier with a foul. On the bench is Larry Bird. He's taken a lot of shots. Brad Lohaus also not playing today. He was kicked in the shins in Friday night's game against Philadelphia, so the Celtics are missing 2 people, and if Ainge doesn't play, that's 3. Bird, of course, the kingpin. He expects to get back around March the 1st. Reggie Lewis off the mark. Harris. McHale puts it in finally. A lot of guys had a shot to pick it up.
Well, in Monday night's game, Boston established excellent tempo and led by 11 at the half in Detroit, most of it coming off the offensive boards, and we're seeing that early.
Sally pushed, and if it's Parrish, it'll be number 2 on Robert, and it is. So Robert Parrish picks up 2 quick ones.
Tough decision right now for Jimmy Rogers. He has to say to himself, now listen, the Chief's my man, and he has a good reputation in the league. I doubt if he's going to pick up a cheap 3rd one right now, but it's a tough decision for a coach, because if he picks up his 3rd, he'll have to sit out the rest of the half.
Then he made a bad decision.
That's right. He's gambling now.
Dennis Johnson can't save it. On the line, it's still Detroit ball.
It's nice to see Dennis Johnson running around, tough defensively, rotating. He has had a difficult time this season with Achilles tendon.
Lane Beer hitting again from outside. Lane Beer has been a villain. You know, he has been in a lot of scraps, particularly with Robert Parrish, particularly here at Boston Gardens floor. But without Rick Mahorn, I think a lot of that aggressiveness may be missing in this game. And maybe some of the fisticuffs.
Well, Rick Mahorn isn't very happy that you said that as he's sitting watching this game in Detroit.
Well, facts are facts, though, right? I mean, Rick does kind of set a tempo out there for Detroit.
Well, he's the cop on the ball club and sets a physical deal. But more important, they're missing his defense on the low post people and his rebounding.
Dennis Johnson, who now gets sick and tired of people saying, okay, you beat us with the open shot, and he did, scoring over 20 for the first time of the season against Philadelphia Friday night. And the big man down the stretch for the Celtics.
Now, Dennis has been around many years.
Lane Beer off to a brilliant start. The Pistons have hit 6 straight field goals, and Lane Beer is 3 for 3. Shaw trying to fight inside, but a loose ball foul has been called against Detroit. John Sally.
See, every time that a pass is going into the post area for Boston, you have the slice cutting by Shaw and by Lewis, and they're getting their hands on the missed shots that are coming off the board.
7.5 to go in the first period. Rejection by Sally into the hands of Lewis. Reggie Lewis, who is now scoring at a 14-point clip, has tied the game again.
Great block that time. He was double teamed by Lewis and Shaw.
Lewis looking for help. Thomas gets it away from him. Good steal by Isiah Thomas. Sally banks it in. All 5 Pistons starters have scored. It's been a close affair.
See, if Sally can give them any kind of scoring today to give the Pistons, it's really going to be a major spark for them. They need him to finish off the plays.
Lane Beer on McHale. There's the double. Johnson is open. Finds Shaw. He's active inside and is fouled.
See, that's that cutter that's coming from the other side of the floor. Every time that the ball is going into the post-up, people, remember what we said, Shaw and Lewis are key.
Lane Beer with his second.
Shaw coming in these areas, and they have been keeping the ball aligned on the offensive board. It's here we have the nice move. That time he received the pass, but up until now, on any missed shot, they've been getting a hand on the ball and keeping the ball alive.
Brian Shaw is on the line, so while Jimmy Rogers elected to keep Robert Parrish in the game with 2 fouls, Shaw makes both free throws to tie up the game again. There's Edwards.
See, the difference in the philosophy between the 2 coaches, Chuck Daly can come with James Edwards, a guy who has scored double figures for 11 straight years in this league. And unfortunately for Jimmy Rogers, he does not have that luxury.
Brian Shaw picking up the foul. Nearly had a nifty steal. There's the shooting so far, and the shooting has been pretty impressive.
Brian Shaw's in this game because of his excellent man-to-man defense.
And he's got 5 inches on Isiah Thomas, who's trapped right now and in trouble, and he took too many steps in travel. Darryl Garrettson called it. He's working today with Bob Delaney and Ed F. Rush. Those are the 3 officials in this game.
Well, that was tough for Isiah that time, Dick. Anytime you're trapped by McHale at 6'11" with the long arms, and also Shaw's 6'6".
Edwards is on McHale. Sally on Parrish. Dennis Johnson. Sally knocked it away, and they say it's Boston ball. It must have been deflected when Sally did a volleyball shot into the 5th row.
Well, Darryl Garrettson was right on top of that one. He didn't even hesitate on that call.
Rebound, Boston with a 5-1 edge, and the score is tied at 14. Just under 6 minutes remaining in the first period. He'll call the foul against Adrian Dantley of Detroit. Mark Akers makes his first entrance of the game, and Robert Parrish goes out. He goes out with 2 persons.
Well, Akers is in his 2nd year. He was drafted by Dallas and didn't make the bucket. Went to Belgium for 2 years, and now has come back, and this is his 2nd season with the Boston Celtics.
The blue collar does a lot of the dirty work stuff inside. Lewis's shot drops in. Reggie Lewis with the shot. Had his number retired at Northeastern University yesterday, number 35. Getting a chance to play this year and making the most of it. Vinnie Johnson, short. Good defense by Lewis that time. Rebound now in McHale. Boston with a 2-point lead. Shaw all the way. Akers. Boston ball.
See, I find it interesting that Detroit, they are not putting their bodies on people to block them out. And the Celtics are really doing an outstanding job. Give them their due, keeping the ball alive on the board. We just cannot underline that enough.
McHale, quick turnaround over Edwards. Kevin McHale with 8 points is the game high scorer, and the Celtics lead by 4. That's been the biggest lead in the game.
See, with Shaw and Lewis playing the 2 guards, it is difficult for Isiah and Vinnie Johnson to either beat them off the dribble or to get the shot over the top.
Off the swing, Johnson. Familiar play for Detroit. Curl pattern, but Vinnie didn't get it that time. And Boston with the lead with 4:42 to go in the first. Strong to the hoop is Dennis Johnson. McHale tried to tip it in. It'll be Detroit ball out of bounds. Dennis Johnson protesting to Darryl Garrettson briefly.
I like what I'm seeing offensively for Boston. The penetration inside off the dribble has been outstanding.
Dennis Rodman has come in, and John Sally goes out. Rodman, nicknamed the Worm because of his pinball exploits many years ago, is second to Charles Barkley for the most offensive rebounds per minute in the league, and he is an exciting player, Dennis Rodman. Now, apparently, they could not substitute after that call, and so Rodman has to sit on the side for the moment. Sally's still in there. Thomas misses. Celtics again with the ball. Dennis Johnson. Ahead of the field to Lewis. Banks it in. How did he do that one?
He did a 360 that time, and what you like about this young man is that he really looks for the score. And more important, they are
playing his college and pro ball in the same city, Boston.
It's a great feeling, you know, because I didn't have to get up and go relocate like everybody else did. I was already familiar with the area. I was familiar with the Boston Celtics team. And the fans here, they already knew about me, and it was exciting just to be drafted by the Celtics. And everybody wanted me to get drafted by the Celtics, and now I am.
Well, Reggie played on that great high school team, Dick, that had Tyrone Bogues, Reggie Williams, and also David Wingate, all establishing themselves in pro basketball right now. But he led his team to 4 league championships while he was at Northeastern, and also led the team in shot blocking.
Dennis Rodman has come into the ball game now for the Pistons. Isiah Thomas working against Shaw, draws the foul, and Thomas will go to the line. Isiah has just 2 points thus far, and is now the leading scorer on the Pistons. He's been hot lately and has overtaken Adrian Dantley.
Well, Zeke is making a move right now. He's increased his foul shooting to 78%.
We're not. We're just a good team, and we have to fight and scrap. Perhaps get to that point again.
This is the first time in a game that Detroit has showed you a 2-2-1 3/4 court press. The only reason why they do it is to try to run time off the shot clock.
6 on the shot clock. 4-point lead for the Celtics. Johnson is fouled by Vinnie Johnson, who left his feet. Good play by Dennis, who's showing all that savvy in the last couple of games. The Celtics are trailing in the Atlantic Division behind the New York Knicks and the Philadelphia 76ers. Boston 3 games under 500. And keep in mind, the Celtics did not lose their 20th game last year until mid-March, when they lost only 25 in the season.
He's kind of gingerly making his moves. I don't think we'll see any explosiveness off the dribble today.
He's guarding the rookie Williams. Now is the third guard because of Dumars' absence with the broken hand. It's a big miss for Detroit not having Joe Dumars. Thomas with the jumper, 21-18. The Celtics lead, 3:20 to go, first period.
Well, let's see if Boston goes right at the small guards, because in Isiah Thomas and in Williams, you really have 2 guys that are 6'1", 6'2".
Although Williams, according to Chuck Daly, looks much smaller than Isiah. He says that's our midget backcourt when Chuck uses Thomas and Robert Williams.
Now, wait a second. Are you questioning the PR guy down there? Taylor, come on now.
I took the tape measure out. You just about made 6'1". Dantley has only 2 points thus far.
There's a clear out.
Shooting over Lewis. Dantley in the last 5 games has averaged 25 points per contest for Detroit, and they've come back to within 1. Dantley is on Akers. They can afford to put Dantley, a shorter man, on Akers, not an offensive threat.
Beautiful.
Pick and roll, McHale.
What a beautiful pass that time. Detroit tried to front the low post people. Nice pass.
Thomas has his shot blocked by Lewis.
See, once again, the size of the defensive guards, and Lewis and Shaw are causing problems with the smaller Detroit guards shooting over the top.
Ainge with a fake. Akers turnaround. That's not the guy they wanted to take the shot. Boston still has it, though. Ainge to Lewis, driving, blocked by Dennis Rodman on a clean, hard block.
He came in from the mezzanine.
Thomas on the baseline. Short shot miss. Looked like Ainge is reluctant to shoot.
I thought that was a nice head fake by Danny. You know, it's the story with good shooters and good scorers. Even if they're open, they'll give you the ball fake, get you off your feet because they want a closer shot, and that's what he did.
Under 2 minutes to go. 8 on the shot clock for the Celtics, leading by 3. McHale draws the foul.
Keep an eye now. Watch Ainge make the pass off to the right of your screen, and here comes Rodman on the base going for the block right there. Excellent rotation, Dick.
James Edwards committed the foul. There's the block from up close by Dennis Rodman. You know, poor Isiah Thomas. First he has to go against 6'6" Shaw, then he has to go against Reggie Lewis at 6'8". Jim Paxson, the veteran, has replaced Dennis Johnson. Today's problem is when it came down to the stretch, and that's been the Celtics' problem this year, they haven't had the big man to go to get them the points. That's where they really miss Bird. Celtics by 4. Robert Williams against Paxson. Good move inside. No basket.
Tough shot opportunity the other. That was like a prayer shot.
Rodman out hustled McHale for the ball. Edwards with his favorite shot. They're just not falling for Detroit.
Oh, watch out.
And
Watch out.
Akers.
Watch out. See, Rodman is laughing about that, and he tapped him and he ran back. That was not a blow. But they get kind of mixed up in here off this rebound. Watching the lower part of your screen. See, Rodman and Akers. Akers swung the arm first, but that's okay. They both want to stay in this game.
And Rodman picking up the loose ball foul, and Mark Akers going to sit out of bounds, and it's still Boston ball.
Whenever you're struggling and you're involved in a lot of close games, it always comes down to the foul line. How well you shot them during the game, and then more important, your key guys, can they make them at the end of the game?
And of course, the big thing, getting to the line. Foul against the Pistons.
While James Edwards that time denied Kevin McHale from getting into the lane, and James thought that he deserved the space that time. That's why he's upset.
That Pistons are in the penalty right now on Super Bowl Sunday, where the Boston Celtics have won their last 6 on this day. The Celtics lead 26-20 and have led virtually all the way. Dick Stockton along with Hubie Brown. Pat O'Brien will be joining us at the half.
All right, the half-court defense now. We're seeing a trap for the first time today. The Celtics are doing an excellent job.
Williams can't connect. Tipped up. Akers the rebound with 42 seconds to go in the first quarter.
Remember, anytime you put a half-court trap, you want the jump shots to be taken.
Lewis traveled. He made another amazing shot off the glass. He's going to make a habit out of that, but took steps before the shot turns it over to Detroit.
Well, he has the potential to be a really big scorer in this league because of his acrobatic play. Once he puts that ball down on the floor, he covers, great amounts of ground because of the big step.
19 on the shot clock, 33 on the game clock for the first period.
See, here's that half-court trap again.
Thomas in the lane, hits the jumper, and Isiah Thomas now has 8 points. He is the leading scorer for the Pistons. McHale with 13 points has 13 of Boston's 26. So they've gone to him heavily in this first quarter. Differential on the shot clock is about 2 seconds between the game clock and the shot clock. 8 now showing on the 24-second number. Lewis lost it. Williams had it, and Lewis will be called for the loose ball foul.
Yeah, but they're going to take it on the side because they're not shooting the penalty.
That's the 4th foul. Had it been the 5th, it would have been a bad rookie mistake.
Well, let's see what they do with the 6 seconds here.
Williams is trapped. The rookie takes it all the way with an incredible scoop shot from the schoolyards. But I'll tell you what, they like Michael Williams a lot. He's going to be a point guard for the inside play.
Absolutely.
Start of the second period. Danny Ainge stays in there at guard defensively. Paxson is in there. Lewis has Lambeer to beat and does. Reggie Lewis with 8 points.
That was nice. He knew that Lambeer was there and with foul trouble, he just challenged him to block the shot.
Harris remains on the bench with 2 fouls. Lambeer playing with 2. And we'll have a foul away from the ball against Boston.
Lambeer, Isiah Thomas, and also Williams, all kinds of trouble in their perimeter game.
Lambeer setting a screen. Thomas going off it. McHale clears. No one inside for the Pistons for any second shot.
It is interesting. They are nowhere on the offensive board, and that has been a major weakness in their game up until now.
Rodman is in the game also. Paxson comes off the screen with a line drive shot. Very steady, moves without the ball, and makes the Celtic offense look good.
Well, Jimmy wanted a foul that time. Coach Jimmy Rogers said that he's happy to see because in the last 7-8 games, Jimmy Paxson was really doing it. Shot blocked that time by Lewis.
Sally to Thomas. Isiah Thomas in double figures. The first Piston to get to that point. Whistle and another foul away from the ball.
Here we go. Here's the night. Watch Reggie Lewis come over. There's your release. But now watch Sally do a wraparound here. Nice, beautiful pass here as he spots Isiah Thomas.
Michael Williams picking up the foul, and Vinnie Johnson is back in, replacing Isiah Thomas. He scored 10 points. Dennis Johnson returns, replaces McHale, and there's Robert Parrish in there as well. And again, we must tell you, Parrish comes back in with 2 personals.
McHale was outstanding. See, I look at Michael Williams. He has a tough cover right now. Jimmy Paxson, one of the best players in the NBA at moving without the ball. That's a wily veteran there. Nice fake. Got the defense to,
Wiley's a good description for him. Yeah. I like that. Not many Wileys out there.
You're right.
He's one of them. Dennis Johnson. Vinny tries to get it inside to Sally, who's fouled. Rodman is 56%, and if you look at a lot of the people off the bench normally for the Pistons, they don't connect the way they should at the free throw line.
Well, that's one of the reasons why their point production is down. Vinnie Johnson, James Edwards, Sally, and Rodman are all shooting under 68%. Well, that's 4 or 5 points every night.
1 out of 2 for Sally, so their problems continue overall. 7-point Boston lead. They had an 8-point margin a few moments ago.
The Boston movement has been very crisp.
Harris. Lambeer with the rebound. Under 10 minutes to go in the second period. Celtics have led all the way virtually, except for the opening basket.
Backcourt foul that time. Jimmy Rogers all over the end referee, and that was good. If I were Jimmy Rogers, I'd have done the same thing. There was definite collision in the backcourt.
And we'll have an offensive foul. Isiah Thomas will be coming back in the game. The Celtics are shooting around 57%. When they shoot well, they win. Lewis, number. Larry Bird, aching to get back, says he misses the competitiveness of basketball more than anything else.
But he has the soreness every day after the workouts.
Beer popping top of the key, hits again. He's having a fine start. 10 points for Beer. He's hit 5 of 6 from the field.
If you're going to defense Beer, you must force him to dribble a basketball. Think about it so far today. He has not taken more than 1 or 2 dribbles, and he has never gone to the basket yet.
One of the quickest releases in the league. 8:20 to go in the first half.
Wow, there's a collision in the lane.
Aaron. Sally the rebound, and the Pistons will try to cut it to 3. Vinnie Johnson thought Beer was going to cut, and Beer said, my fault, I should have kept going.
Well, anytime you're on the break and you're in that outside lane, that's why you hate to see your big men, your centers, in the outside lane, because you want them to go all the way. If nothing else, to force a mismatch inside low.
Turning it over, the Celtics. Paxson went in, and they stepped on the line. Brian Shaw returns to the game for Boston. And Paxson goes out. Akers is out, and Kevin McHale, who scored 13 in the first quarter, checks in for Boston. Still a 5-point Celtic lead. Their biggest margin was 8. Vinnie Johnson, cold so far. Rodman is there with the putback. First points off the bench for the Pistons today. Cuts the lead to 3. Lewis off a screen. Rebound Rodman. Now the Pistons asserting themselves a lot more off both boards.
Well, the Celtics are getting away from how they got the lead, and that was to go inside first, get the ball out, then look for the slicing game.
7:15 in the first half. Beer tried to fake. McHale went by. It all worked out, and a smile on Beer's face.
Well, it keeps coming down to that point that if you're a good outside shooter, you must make the guy dribble and then try to make him dribble with his left hand, which is not as dominant.
There's Ron Grandison replacing Reggie Lewis, who was the 100th pick in the draft a couple of years ago out of the University of New Orleans with Denver. Then went to CBS, and now wearing the Celtic green.
Mr. Hustle does all the hard things. The intangible man.
Shaw lost the ball. And now Bob Delaney said it was last touched by a Piston. So the Celtics will have possession when we come back in a 3-point game. Boston leading.
One gives him that. But he is their premier point guard. As a small forward or big forward or whatever position you want to put on this guy. He makes things happen. He increases the performance of every other player because of his great dribbling and passing ability.
Shaw. Grandison crashes the boards and is called for a loose ball foul off the back. And the thing you pointed out even before the game, the Celtics without Bird really don't have a margin for error. They can't just say, we'll hang in there and Larry will win it for us at the end.
Well, right here in the month of January, they've been in 5 games that could have been won in the last 30 seconds, and they were not able to get the necessary execution.
Thomas has the shot blocked, and Brian Shaw hit Thomas's head from behind. Take a look at what is the toughest division in the NBA. Amazing Cleveland continues to roll. They won last night again. The Pistons with the second-best record in the league behind Cleveland at 25-11. But Milwaukee, Atlanta, Chicago, and how about Milwaukee? How quietly they have been so good so far.
Oh, it's an excellent coach.
Celtics, they get it across. Tied at 34, so the Pistons have come back to tie it up. Grandison. Plenty of time on the shot clock. Parrish over Beer. Gains the lead. No love lost, remember, between Robert Parrish and Bill Beer. They've had their scraps.
By McHale and Parrish, as soon as they get the ball, there's no hesitation today. They're making great moves in it.
Speaking of moves, there's one by Zeke, as they call him, Isiah Thomas, who has 13. He matches McHale with the game's high score.
A guy like Isiah can be silent for a long time, but he's capable of putting 15 on the board in any quarter.
McHale in a crowd. Gets the basket. He like mailed it in, huh?
What a beautiful fingertip roll that was. Definitely caught the defensive player thinking a possible hook.
38-36. Vinnie Johnson goes right around McHale. Cannot make the layup. Rodman Rodman got tangled up with Grandison. Celtics on a 3-on-2 break. Dennis Johnson off the glass looking for a foul. The other way is Vinnie Johnson, and he gets the basket.
He had some great defensive plays at both ends of the floor that time.
Another tie of 38. He had over 20 last week between the Bulls and the Celtics before Chicago prevailed down the stretch.
Here comes a screen now in the low post for McHale.
Running him quickly was Lane Beer, took that pass away. Out of bounds. It'll be Detroit's possession. Dennis Johnson has missed his last 5 shots.
Watch Isiah come down here to the baseline now. This is why he's Mr. Magic. Once he gets down inside, he has that ability to be acrobatic, adjust the shot, and then even throw the high lob type of the shot off the glass.
Reggie Lewis comes back in for Grandison for the Celtics. Tied at 38, and Johnson with that hesitation. Rarely does he hesitate like that.
Well, the reason being is the size of Lewis, because as Lewis is with him and he extends the arms, Vinny does not have the clear shot. And he is not accustomed to putting the ball down on the floor. Now, his last 2 attempts have been off the dribble.
Paxson for Shaw for Boston. They're the experienced duo of Jim Paxson and Dennis Johnson at guard. Triple team on McHale. It's still Celtics ball with 9 seconds on the shot clock.
Good anticipation by Vinnie Johnson that time. Got a piece of that pass by McHale because the Celtics had 2 guys open at the top of the circle.
Celtics have scored just 12 points in this quarter. And a steal by Isiah Thomas. He stripped Dennis Johnson.
Zeke is he got hit in the eye now. Yeah, they need a 22nd.
They're going to get a 20 right now. Going for the steal, he and Dennis Johnson got tangled up and Thomas got hit in the eye. Let's see if we can pick it up.
Oh, here we have it. You'll see him gamble from the top here. There it is right there. And then the backhand. The backhand gets him right in the left eye.
Thomas is still on 53 by Michael Jordan. Lane Beer setting a screen. Vinnie Johnson still working. 8 on the clock. Short with Vinnie Johnson. He's struggling today with only 4 points from the field. 2 for 7 shooting. 3:35 remaining. First half. Six on the clock. Parrish. Long rebound. Vinnie Johnson. Chance for the Pistons to take a lead. They'll have a chance at the free lead with Bob Delaney coming up floor. So 39-38 as the Pistons, who are down by 8, regain the lead by 1. Now the Celtics can get it back. Winding down to 3 minutes to go in the first half. Dick Stockton and Hubie Brown here at Boston Garden. Interesting how they played that screen. Paxson lost control and traveled. So Detroit now again. And now Chuck Daly calls a time. Celtic backcourt shooting well down, but as he pointed out, they're getting some work up front. 15 from McHale, 10 for Lewis. Parrish has only 4. They're always a threat. The Pistons are on a 12-4 run the last 6 minutes of this half. Williams tried to force it in, got hit in the face.
He did. He got hit on a shot that time. He was looking for 2.
Less than 2.5 to play in the first half. Pistons by 1. Celtics led by 4 at the end of the first period. Paxson off the screen. Normally that's automatic for Jim. 4 on 3 now. Lane Beer. Pistons couldn't take advantage of that man power edge.
If you're Detroit, Dick, you have to still keep pushing the ball, because one of the minuses of the Boston defense is their transition game.
What a save by Dennis Johnson.
Nice.
Paxson has 2-on-1. But what a play by Dennis Johnson, who made it happen with a great defensive play at the other end.
How about Robert Parrish, though, going from the defensive basket out in the lane all the way down?
I'll buy that, too.
Here comes a half-court trap now. They're giving you a 1-3-1 look.
Boston regaining the lead by 1, 40-39. Rodman in the crowd. Williams. Foul. He had 3 Celtics around him who wanted a taste of that ball, and he was fouled. And Robert Parrish has picked up his 3rd personal foul.
To the right of your screen, you're going to see a great defensive play. Look at that.
An opportunity. 40-40.
about collisions.
Parrish, Sally has him out there. Great feed to Paxson. Parrish with a nifty pass to Paxson. Celtics 42-40.
Like we say, you must keep your eyes on Jimmy Paxson. He's one of the best ever without the ball.
Minute to go in the first half. Vinnie Johnson. Again missing. Vinnie Johnson struggling from the field continually. He's now 2 for 8. They expect more in that spot from him.
Now, you know he's not going to stop shooting because he's a scorer. He's going to keep it going, but he is pressing right now.
Microwave is off. 8 on the shot clock. Good passing by Boston, but a foul.
Trying to bring McHale to the low post.
James Edwards is in there. Ames with a fall away. McHale trying to tip it up. He does on the second effort. 44-40 Boston, and now Detroit with Edwards, Sally, and Rodman up front. Tall front line. 10 seconds to go in the first half. Vinnie Johnson with a layup cuts the lead to 2. 6 seconds. Ames. And a fine first half of basketball at Boston Garden as the Celtics and the Pistons in a tussle.
Field goals on the night, but it wasn't enough as Milwaukee won at Denver 116-107. 78 consecutive times he has shot the three-point shot. As Milwaukee wins, the Knicks charged out to a 20-point first half lead, but Seattle came back to win this one. The final nail coming on a Dale Ellis three-pointer. Seattle wins it with the Knick game. New York is 0-3 on their current West Coast swing, and that swing is going to get tougher. A floor. The magic may come later.
I don't think Orlando or New Jersey will be able to build a mystique around the parquet floor. I think they put parquet floor because it looks great.
I think now the only thing that's missing in the Meadowlands is Kevin McHale and Larry Bird and Bob Cousy and some other great players that played for Boston.
Well, they're about to put the real pile of wood to work in a minute, and Dick Stockton and Hubie Brown are about to go back to work. I'm Pat O'Brien. Thank you for joining us on the Prudential at the half. Enjoy the second half here on CBS.
The Prudential at the half has been sponsored by the companies of the Prudential. Come to the Prudential and build your future on the rock.
I've tried it. Now I believe it. Denorex Tingles tells me it's doing more. Head and Shoulders, no tingle.
Both have dandruff medicine, but Denorex adds both an extra anti-itch medicine and conditioner, too.
Goodbye, Head and Shoulders. Hello, Denorex.
The product. The proving grounds. The results. STP gas treatment is the edge.
This is the final call for Flight 39. Apologize for the delay. The cabin is turned on the fasten seat.
In an average business year, an average business traveler serves an average 21 days locked in transit.
Package for Flight 256 will be arriving.
National has a way to reduce your sentence, and it means you'll never have to encounter another counter. National's Emerald Isle. Freedom at last.
Being neutral, the Swiss enjoy the best of all worlds. Cars from Italy. Clothes from Paris. Shoes from England. And from America, Old Spice Liquid Stick, a new antiperspirant. With the smoothness of a roll-on and the speed of a stick, it also combines the best of all worlds for total protection. After all, nothing's more important to the Swiss than good relations. Old Spice Liquid Stick, the world's most advanced form of protection.
Strauss looks like he's just determined to take over this game.
Dominique fires outside, goes after it. Whoa! Nahilo for a three-pointer. He leads the league. Price with a tip at the buzzer.
Jordan on the move, in from the right, reverse layup.
They're enjoying their biggest lead, 8 points.
Yes! What a shot! NBA action! It's fantastic!
Well, this is the start of a big day of sports on CBS. UNLV in Louisville coming up next, and then the Phoenix Open. Super Bowl also on tap today. Fans settling back in their seats as the second half gets underway. Thomas started by Shaw with 5 on the shot clock. Thomas pulls back and hits the first shot. Isiah with 15, the high score for Detroit.
I'd say that was a big time. That's a guy who's been there so many times, very confidently stepping back on releasing that jump shot.
Pistons had only one basket in the last 5 minutes of the period, and now Detroit picking up a foul. The shooting was close. Neither team over 50%. McHale the best shooter and the best offensive rebounder. Big numbers there, as Chuck and Hubie talked about, and inside scoring. Again, the Celtics dominated as you look at the high scores of the half.
Reggie Lewis very, very dangerous off the dribble. Jimmy Rogers high on him because every time he has the ball, he makes something.
Tapped out of bounds by Sally. It'll still be Celtics ball. We're tied at 44. Celtics had an 8-point lead early in the second quarter, and Detroit's biggest lead was 2. Lewis from Shaw. Good play by both of the youngsters.
Great pass that time by Brian Shaw. Lewis behind the backboard converted that for a score.
Shaw, 5 inches advantage on Isiah Thomas. Clear out. Dantley isolated against Dennis Johnson. Pulls up. That's what Dennis would like him to do every time.
An excellent bump with the chest that time. Took Dantley right out of his confident release.
McHale turnaround baseline. 19 for Kevin McHale. Off to a big start. 8 of 11 from the field. McHale averaging 22 on the season. Virtually there. And McHale holds Lane Beer.
Watch the penetration by Brian Shaw on the baseline here, and then he finds Reggie Lewis behind the board. See, now once he made that catch, he had to turn around, but the smart thing was he took his shoulders, paralleled them to the baseline. That way he put the defense behind him. Beautiful move.
Georgia Tech leading Illinois 16-8. Illinois could be the top-ranked team in the country. They're undefeated, the only major unbeaten team in the nation. Off the screen, the curl, Vinnie Johnson hits. That's a favorite Piston play.
Well, that's one of the very first times today that they have freed up Vinnie Johnson off of what we call a stagger pick, successive picks in the painted area. First time.
2 minutes gone by, third period. Looking inside for Lane Beer. McHale McHale trying to get clear. Kick ball and a new 24-second clock.
What you like about the Detroit Pistons defense is how quick they recover from double teaming people in the low post area. When you pass the ball out, they're moving very, very fast. Their rotations are excellent.
Reggie Lewis slicing in, draws the foul. Good battle inside as Lane Beer and McHale try to get position, but the Celtics try to get it inside the Netherlands. 1 out of 2 for Reggie Lewis, making his 11th consecutive start for the Celtics. Good move by Thomas. He beat Shaw to the basket off the dribble and will go to the line and shoot 2. Foul is on Brock, as we both did. Asked him about the Lakers. There's Danny Ainge checking in, and he says, I can tell you that the Lakers will be playing one of us in the Eastern Conference in the finals. He says, I'm not sure who it'll be, whether it'll be Cleveland, New York, Boston, Detroit. The Lakers will be playing one of us. Thomas with the free throws. 17 for Isiah. He leads Detroit. 19 points for McHale, top scorer in the game.
Spoke with Mike Adenauer, the Detroit trainer, at halftime. Isiah's fine. The eye is all right.
Lane Beer trying to deny. McHale commits his 3rd personal foul. They love it in Boston. Anything bad happens to Lane Beer, whose father, William Lane Beer, is in the audience.
Well, Lambeer is working.
There he is.
There he is right there. Lambeer working hard. He has a tough cover today because McHale is extremely active.
Now Lambeer doing a good job keeping the ball away from McHale, pushing him out. Ainge hits a 3. The first 3-point basket of the game, and Danny Ainge connects.
Now that's Danny Ainge's 42nd 3-point field goal. The Celtics have only averaged 4 a game.
Illegal defense against the Celtics. Each team now with 1. You know, after Danny Ainge, no one is even close in 3-point range for Boston.
They only have 3 guys that even take them. That's Dennis Johnson, Jimmy Paxson, and then Danny. That's why it's another, by the way, another thing that they missed with Larry Bird.
Ainge committing the foul. Non-shooting foul, and here's James Edwards getting off the bench. He was a great acquisition last year to give the Pistons a big man to back up Lane Beer, who goes out of the game with 3 fouls. He has scored 10.
Well, he's a 50% shooter, and he has 11 seasons consistent double-figure scoring in this league. This is the first year that he's been down. He's only averaging 7 points a game, but if you remember, early in the year, he had a badly sprained right ankle.
Dantley was fouled by Dennis Johnson, so the Celtics are picking up fouls in a hurry. That's their 4th team foul. 1 more there in the penalty. 2 on Dennis.
This is an interesting matchup, has been all day. Dennis plays Adrian well. They're almost the same size.
Dantley has not gone to the line, so you have to give Dennis Johnson high marks.
Plenty of time.
They've cut Dantley out of the offense effectively. Thomas in 3-point range, no, inside and 2, misses, out of bounds. Boston ball, and the Celtics leading by 4. 8:20 to go in the 3rd period.
The Celtics come out quick, you know, in the 1st quarter, again in the 3rd quarter, with a lot of enthusiasm and excellent execution. But it kind of drops off once we get in the middle of that 2nd period.
Kickball and a new clock. Jimmy Rogers, who has exhibited tremendous patience, losing Larry Bird in his 1st year as a head coach, says we got more phone calls, more mail, more questions. Now that I'm a head coach, no longer an assistant.
He said with the adversity, though, you learn an awful lot about your key people.
McHale and Edwards got tangled, and an illegal defense against Detroit. That'll be a technical foul. That's their 2nd violation.
James Edwards wanted a foul that time. He felt that it was an offensive foul down in the lane. Here it is. Watch McHale and Edwards working one another. Wow. Oh, look, I realized McHale came back with that right hand and got him that time. But that were like 2 sumo guys in there.
That's right. They had everything but the sawdust.
That's right.
Dennis Johnson connected on the technical foul. 53-48 Boston. They retain possession. Just under 8 minutes to go in the 3rd period. Parrish. It's been a while for Robert Parrish. He has 8 points. But now the Celtics have opened up a 7-point lead. Biggest margin in this game has been 8 by Boston early in the 2nd stanza. Vinnie Johnson. He's getting hot now in the 2nd half after an ice-cold first 24 minutes. Still haven't gotten Dantley into the offense. He hasn't gotten the basket since late in the 1st period. Double on Parrish. Wide open Dennis Johnson. Philadelphia Friday night to bury the Sixers.
Well, that's called a skip pass. They throw a diagonal pass to the opposite side of the floor out of the double teams. And if you don't do that, you can make 2 passes and get the same shot.
Dantley's going to go to the line for the first time today. Took a while.
125 foul shot attempts down, and also Lambier at a negative at 32. So you're talking about 3 key people for them who are rebounding people or people off the dribble. But I also want to say in today's game, now let's give Dennis Johnson some major credit here for doing an excellent job on Adrian Dantley. Adrian's foul shot attempts are down, but you have to go back to early in the season when he was hit in the face with an elbow, not deliberately, by Mark Aguirre, and he
get to the finals the last 2 years, and Celtics trying to scrap without Larry Bird and have been in front virtually all the way, in front 57-51. McHale with a turnaround. He's been the key man for Boston. 21 points for Kevin McHale, just about at his season's average.
You know what I liked about that? They showed you a pick and roll on the left side of the floor, and all it was camouflage, because they really wanted to post McHale on the opposite side.
You know, other than that free throw by Dantley, Vinnie Johnson and Thomas have all the points this quarter for Detroit, and then John Sally enters into it.
Well, it's one of the very few offensive rebounds that we have seen for Detroit today.
Celtics have hit their last 6 field goals. They're allowed to get back easier on defense when they hit the baskets like that one. They don't have to worry about the long rebound and trying to get back. Celtics up 61-53. 6 minutes remaining in the 3rd quarter. Sally, good fake on Parrish, went baseline on it.
See, he can take Parrish off the dribble because Robert knows he must stay in this ball game today if the Celtics are going to win, and he already has 3 fouls.
So does Lane Beer, who's not in the game right now. Parrish gets hit on the arm and will go to the line.
Just watch the effort that Dennis is putting in here playing Adrian Dantley. There's so much body contact involved with your forearms, and then he's taking him on his back because it just doesn't end. You must deny a player of Dantley.
3 for 3 shooting, and his game is up a notch in the second half. Feeds Sally nicely, but again doesn't go in. Outlet, Parrish to Ainge to Lewis, and a good foul by Isiah Thomas. He's going to make Lewis make the free throws when Lewis looked like he had the easy basket. Thomas has it slopped away by Dennis Johnson. Crowd reacting. Celtics looking for the biggest lead of the game. Doesn't happen. Vinnie Johnson. That would have given him a 9-point lead. Johnson's hot, as you said, doesn't stop shooting, and for good reason.
Lewis got a piece of Vinnie Johnson's right arm that time on the release.
Isolating Dantley, Ainge doubling. Thomas is open. Short. Celtics can open up their biggest lead of the game if they score.
We're seeing some great double teaming here.
Dennis Johnson. Edwards to Thomas. Tempo picked up here. Isiah bunch Ainge, and they'll call the offensive foul against Thomas, his third.
Good call that time. You know, Zeke's frustrated, but he really didn't have it. He took that right elbow right into the stomach of the defensive player. Good call.
They're going to rush Jim Paxson into the game and get Dennis Johnson. He should get a big hand. Dennis Johnson has 8 points, but QB has graphically pointed out a brilliant defensive job on Adrian Dantley.
Well, he's made the all-defensive team 9 straight years. You can't say enough about it. He's an unsung hero type of guy.
McHale. Good defense by Edwards. He just would not let McHale win that battle. Rodman flying in with a stuff. Dennis Rodman. He's in to add some spark to Detroit's offense.
He did that at such a quick speed. Lewis, who was standing in the lanes, never saw him. Never saw him.
Who was that? Who was that masked man?
How about this matchup down in low? Rodman and Paris. See, Rodman gave him a little pat because Robert works so well. Anytime you watch Paris and McHale in a low post, they get their arms up, you see. Watch, they keep your arms up high. So
there's a push.
There you go. It could have gone either way. But what you're doing is you're working hard. You're not allowing that defensive player to come around.
Point Boston lead. Thomas, foul. Winning marks away from home. Shows you they got off to a great start. At one point, 6-0 on the road. Start the season.
Well, they are frustrated over the fact that they are 0-3 with Milwaukee, 0-3 with New York, and 1-2 with Indiana.
Reggie Lewis using the McHale screen. Lewis with 16. Celtics have matched their biggest lead of the game. Dantley is fouled by Lewis, and he'll shoot 2. Reggie doesn't agree.
Well, you know, you're frustrated because the call came so late. Look at here. Look at this arm wrestling here.
Come on. Timeout. We'll be back to Boston Garden.
Center, surround him with 4 guards who are playing great basketball.
Ralph Sampson has been out, and the Warriors have gone to town with him on the bench.
Well, then they bring Ball back in there, and he anchors that half-court trap. Nelson and his staff doing an outstanding job.
Of course, Super Bowl Sunday, and with the San Francisco 49ers with a chance to win a 3rd Super Bowl this decade, that story has been buried. There is the triumvirate. Brendan Surr on the left, Brendan Malone on the right, surrounding Chuck Daly. We'll get into that in a little while.
Defensive basket, because it's going to eventually lead to something bad.
Rodman with his 3rd personal foul joins the 3-foul club. Of course, at this stage, you're not in foul trouble with 3 personals, and we have 2:33 remaining in the period. McHale makes them both. He's got 23 on the game. Front line has done it in a big way for the Celtics today.
I like how active everyone is. Very crisp. The movement is there. But let's see if they can sustain it for the full 2 quarters in the second half.
Fouling call against Adrian Dantley. Turnover, and the Celtics matching their biggest lead of the game, 8 points, with a chance to open it up again. driving to the hoop. Basket counts and a foul. And the Celtics have their biggest lead.
Beautiful move by Danny that time. And when you think he's got a lower back, watch how he comes off this pick and roll, and then he sizes up the fact that he can go all the way. Now you look at James Edwards there in the lower part of your screen, you say, why didn't he move over and pick you over? Well, the big thing is he's so concerned about Kevin McHale, because Kevin McHale, as you know, is going to be on that offensive board.
An 11-point Boston lead. Ainge with a three-point play. Dantley picking up his third foul. Winding down to 2 minutes to go, and the Pistons right now are getting beaten. And soundly by good hustle by Boston. Vinnie Johnson forces the shot, but that's his game. Got to make them. Celtics. Boston has only one basket, or Detroit that is, in the last 3.5 minutes.
Now here comes that high pick and roll again. Let's see how they defend it.
Parrish on the pick. There's the roll, and there's the basket, and there's the foul.
Watch this pick and roll and the excellent pass as Danny Ainge comes off at 2 dribbles. Force the defensive man. See, anytime you come off a pick and roll, 1 dribble, you really don't get the defense to commit themselves. You come off 2 dribbles, it opens up a passing lane.
Edwards with the foul. Parrish couldn't convert the foul free throw, but it's 75-62. Boston by 13 points. Vinnie Johnson again misses. He may be forcing it a bit now, thinking that's what he has to do.
He's leaving everything short.
Parrish,
look out.
He's their #1 fan these days.
What you have here is Robert Parrish running hard. This looks like the Celtics of old.
An 11-2 run by the Boston Celtics. Timeout, Detroit. You never know. The Celtics don't have Bird, and they're 3 games under 500 at this stage, because this crowd loves the kind of ball they're seeing from the green and white today. It is 77-62, a whopping 15-point lead. But we've got a lot more to follow on CBS Sports today. Coming up next, Jerry Tarkanian's UNLV against Louisville, and Denny Crum and Purvis Ellison, one of the top players in the country. And then later on,
front now, that used to be a familiar sight. Even after a score, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, Larry Bird would jump out of bounds. Robert Parrish would take off down the
Sally. Pistons need something. Vinnie Johnson has missed 3 in the last segment, but Sally keeps it alive with an offensive rebound. Thomas strong to the hoop. Celtics defense did well. No foul. Parrish the rebound. Under a minute remaining in the 3rd period.
Detroit Daly very upset. Wants the call that time for 16 down. Why? All the shots are off the front of the rim. You're not getting any easy baskets. And then when you're missing, you are not getting any second shots.
Robert Parrish. And the Celtics are destroying the Pistons to this point.
That was a monster dunk. Watch this. Here he is right over the top of Lambier. Woo!
4 fouls on Lambier. Tell you the difference between this game and Monday's game, when the Celtics lost by 9. On Monday night, the Celtics scored only 34 points in the second half against the Pistons. They have more than that already in this 3rd quarter. Boston foul, and Thomas will shoot, and Robert Parrish.
Well, Isiah Thomas is limping because Robert Parrish's knee caught him right in the thigh area. But he had no place to go that time. Robert had the baseline cut off, plus he was going to keep him behind the back.
Akers replaces him with 31 seconds to go. Now the Pistons are 16-1 when they hold the opposition under 100 points, and it doesn't look like they're going to get that point today.
It's the first time we've seen the half-court 1-3-1 trap by the Pistons.
Ainge for 3. The second of the game.
I thought he had a bad back.
He thought so too. Final seconds. Thomas off the glass. Tough play. But Danny Ainge has scored 10 points here in the third quarter as the Celtics have opened up a big lead. And that is the end of the third period with the score. 5 minutes to open up an 83-66 lead. Start the fourth period along with Hubie Brown and Pat O'Brien, Dick Stockton here in Boston. Super Bowl Sunday, where the Celtics have won 6 in a row on this day. On their way to a 7th. McHale lost it out of bounds.
Well, Jimmy Rogers made a great statement yesterday. He said that we must take our defense to another level, become more blue collar like we were in the past, and then shoot a higher percentage. I think he's looking pretty good right now.
Yes, he is. Lane Beer outside. 15-point lead, and this is where Rogers has seen the Celtics relax. In the past, they relaxed with a big lead when they had Bird on the team. Now that they don't, they can't afford to. The double team on McHale. Ron Grandison swings it to Ainge, goes up for a 3. He's hit 2 of them so far from out there. Boston keeps the ball. McHale to Grandison. Now Detroit with Rodman. Open floor, Thomas. Back to Rodman. Forget about it. Just go away. He gets the ball there.
Well, you're taught that at an early age. Give it up when you're coming down the middle, and if you're open, you'll get it back. When you play with unselfish players and winning players, they always return the ball.
Good thing for kids to remember. You saw it there as well as you could picture it. Rogers is going to get Reggie Lewis back in there in a hurry. Block shot. Lane Beer got a piece of McHale's shot. Grandison trying to cover up, and they're going to have a jump ball.
I like how they refer to this young player. They call him Mr. Hustle.
Mr.
Here we have. Now watch Rodman give the ball up. He knows that he shouldn't be dribbling it in the middle. Right back from Isiah. The main thing is to score, and to score with an easy shot.
Dennis Johnson and Brian Shaw, the starting guard tandem, have come back in for the Celtics. Ainge goes out. He scored 10 points in the last quarter, despite the fact that he has a strained back muscle. Tip controlled by the Pistons, Vinnie Johnson. Rodman again, and now the Pistons quickly have cut the lead to 11 with a lot of time remaining.
That was a very difficult shot. He came in from the wing. He could not play the board. He had to swish that.
Celtics trying to stop a string of 6 in a row run off by Detroit. Grandison is left open. That's a big basket for Boston, even this early in the period.
Well, they're trying to cheat defensively to help out on other people.
And that's the guy, if you're Detroit, that you don't mind taking the shot. Vinnie Johnson fouled and will shoot 2. And it's Mark Akers, the personal foul. So the Pistons very much in this game with a lot of time.
Teamwork makes winners. Be all you can be, sponsored by the U.S. Army. Detroit's trio of Vinnie Johnson, John Sally, and Dennis Rodman comprise the league's deepest bench. Their great athleticism makes them unstoppable on the break, while their ability to harmonize their varied skills breathes new life into a tired lineup. By blending the talents of these dynamic reserves, teamwork has made Johnson, Rodman, and Sally the best they can be.
Hey, Patrick.
I thought I'd let people know what 3 sportscasters do. We were sitting around having tea and scones the other night. We came up with our all-NBA football team. We want to share it with you a little bit. First of all, at quarterback on Super Bowl Sunday, Magic Johnson, right, Hubie?
Well, he was unanimous because you voted for him 8 times.
Yeah. Now we go to the fullback, Charles Barkley. There was no argument there. Xavier McDaniel at running back.
Yeah, Barkley picks up the tough yards, you know. He can block for the X-Man, too.
This one is Magic says, you guys just go out, I'll throw the ball, you jump up and catch it. I like that a lot for wide receivers. Hubie, what do you think?
Well, I think this guy can do, and he can play any position he wants.
And you won't argue with him about
Absolutely
it.
not.
At center, we got Moses Malone, and our offensive line, Charles Oakley and Rick Mahorn.
Ooh.
I like those guys at guard.
Nice people up there.
And the mountain man, Mark Eaton and James Donaldson. Now, what else do we have to do? We have a kicker, Akeem Olajuwon. He played soccer, so he's perfect. Who's going to hold it for him? Spud Webb was unanimous. And our owner, our coach, rather, was unanimous. He's out of work right now, Ronald Reagan. And always shining.
You know, that team may win. How do you think the team would do against the Niners or the Bengals today?
It's a heck of a football team.
I like that team, huh?
I'll see you later.
All right. You know, much later. Vinnie Johnson with the free throw. 85-73. That one doesn't drop. Just under 10 minutes to go. Lewis, McHale, Akers, Shaw, and Dennis Johnson for Boston. So Robert Parrish getting a rest right now will be a big factor down the stretch if this game gets much closer. Laimbeer denying Akers. Now picking up Dennis Johnson on a switch. 1 second on the shot. Big shot by Dennis Johnson falling off the court.
Now the Cardinals sin. You never leave the guy with the basketball to go back to double team someone, you know, who doesn't have a shot.
So the lead again is 14. Isiah Thomas.
Isiah made that look very easy, Dick. That was a tough cut catch, and then he had to shoot it up over the top of McHale.
He's got 24. The next 3 minutes could be very big minutes for the Pistons to stay even or maybe cut it down a little bit, or to go the other way. Forget it.
Got a call on the defense, though. They need better pressure on the shot.
Dennis Johnson. Now Shaw picked up by Rodman. 3 on the shot clock. Dennis Johnson, not that time, but McHale gets the offensive rebound, and a loose ball foul called against Kevin McHale.
That was a great call by Daryl Garrettson. The two guys who were right on that never called it. McHale put both hands in the lower back and pushed the defensive rebounder right underneath the basket.
The two guys who saw it were Hubie Brown and Daryl Garrettson in midcourt.
Well, you know why? We were right in line with it. High pick and roll.
They can cut it to 10 again. Laimbeer into Rodman. Lewis got a piece of it. Rodman forced that shot. First one okay, second one no.
Terrific defense by the Celtics.
They swing it to Shaw. Brian Shaw out of Cal Santa Barbara, who used to watch Robert Parrish at Golden State when Shaw was a youngster, and now he directs him on the floor. Of course, Parrish on the bench right now. Kids grow up, don't they? Thomas has it blocked. Still Detroit ball.
Now, let me just say this. I think you need an awful lot of courage to go down the lane today with the dribble.
Boston Garden the scene. The Detroit Pistons and the Boston Celtics, two intense rivals battling it out, and the Celtics have had the measure of Detroit in this one so far. 89-75. Oh, going to jump it up. Lewis and Sally.
Well, Dennis Johnson is right on Daryl Garrettson, you know, wanting a wraparound foul that time.
So did Jimmy Rogers.
Daryl was right there. He had a jump ball.
Lewis and Sally will jump it up.
Big possession now if Detroit can get the ball.
Well, it's 14 again. They had a chance to cut it to 10, and the Celtics stopped him and got the basket. Controlled here by Thomas. Lost it, and will jump it again. That was a good call. No one really had possession, so Reggie Lewis will jump for the second time, but against a shorter man in Isiah Thomas.
He really challenged on that last jump. You know, Sally's 7 foot. Here comes the Chief.
The Chief. Here comes the tail to the Chief. He's got 18 today. Akers is out. But the cheer is for Parrish, who's had a big game.
What a year he's having. 3rd in the league in field goal percentage, 3rd in the league in rebounds.
He'll jump it again. Boston has it. Leading by 14.
They're doing all the little things today.
They won't rush the shot. Vinnie Johnson stays with Dennis Johnson. He finds Brian Shaw. Shaw got free inside of the baseline. The lead is 16 again. Detroit could see it slipping away. They came within 12. Timeout, Detroit.
Watch Dennis come off this pick and roll. Now look right underneath the basket, right there, going without the ball.
This is a 20-second timeout called by the Pistons, and this is critical as you see the play again.
See, you're always looking for people to go without the ball from the other side of the floor. Anytime that you're dribbling into the middle, you want people to move because then that forces the defense. You give them major problems so that they cannot double team.
Brett Auerbach, Don Gaston, and in front, Alan Cohen. Pistons call the 22nd as a coach, and you see the game maybe slipping away. Now, what kind of message do you bring at this time?
Well, he's trying. Either he tried it saying this is how we want to defend something, or he just wants to stop the momentum. Let's make something happen on this possession right now, and understand that we're a team that's only given up 101 points a game. Celtics have 91. We still have 7.5 minutes to go. So he's not happy at all with the aggressiveness with the dribblers.
Foul is on Brian Shaw, has 5, one more and he's gone. At the conclusion of the game, Hubie Brown and I will select the Miller Lite Player of the Game, and in conjunction with this award, Light Beer will present a check in the amount of $1,000 to the United Cerebral Palsy Association in that player's name.
See, whenever a game is officiated the same through the course of the game, you as a player must adjust. And this game has been, they've allowed a lot of contact, but that's okay. As long as this is way at both ends, then you must make an adjustment as a player.
Adrian Dantley has come in the game, and you'll know that Dennis Johnson will be defending him. It's been a big part of the story of this one. Foul before the shot, no basket. Dennis Rodman. And it's his 4th personal foul.
Darryl Garretson said that Dennis Rodman was holding on to the man coming off the pick and roll.
That's the first team foul on the Pistons. McHale inside off of Lane Beer, still Boston's ball. But Dantley is in there now, and the Pistons are going to need points from Adrian Dantley. He has only 7 and has been stifled by Dennis Johnson. That'll be a key matchup the rest of the way. Parrish over Sally. Rodman clears. 91-77, just under 7 minutes to go in the game. The Celtics in front. Led by as many as 18. Sally goes inside on Parrish. Tip up will drop.
Give Sally credit that time. The initial move was a good move, but he didn't finish the play. As soon as he hit the floor, he right back up for that one.
Celtics trying to hold off the Pistons, who need their tight defense. Sally with a piece of the ball. Parrish blocked again by Sally. McHale puts it up and misses again. Sally, what a great segment of defense by John Sally. One-man show. He blocked 2 shots and got the rebound. He was pushed by McHale from behind, and there was no call. Now they'll call the foul on Thomas as he got a piece of Dennis Johnson.
Chuck Daly very frustrated. They just can't get the call when they explode to the basket.
Right now, the only thing that would taste better than...
As he didn't get the foul he wanted, I guess both teams don't get the fouls they always want, and it's 12 in Boston's ball.
While you're coaching in this game, you're frustrated. Your team hasn't been executing for you all day. You finally get an open floor play. You get an excellent shot at the basket. Chuck felt that his player, Sally, was bumped from behind by McHale. Now you say, well, what's the big deal? Well, it would have cut the game down to 10.
6 minutes remaining in the 4th period. Boston led by 4 after 1-2 at the half. Parrish is blocked. And the foul called. Lane Beer. If it's on Jim or Bill, it'll be 5, and it is. 5 fouls on Bill Lane Beer. Crowd loves this call.
See, watch this pick and roll. Now here, Lane Beer will come in from the right side of your screen for the block.
Good call. He got his arm.
Oh, he got it. But it was excellent rotation by Detroit and Lambeer. But you must compliment the Celtics today. They're running the old pick and roll, I think, which was put in by Moses in the back. Really in unison. They do not have a weak link defensively today. They're getting maximum effort. Everyone giving the extra yard from a Celtics standpoint. They're getting their hands on everything.
Rodman has the shot tipped away into the hands of the Celtics. So Shaw fouls out with 6 points. He had to guard Isiah Thomas, and while Thomas has 26, Shaw did well. Parrish gets the ball at a good spot for the foul as well. Pistons have come close, but today's not going to be their day, Hubie.
What a beautiful move by Robert Parrish. Once he caught the ball, he knew that the defensive player would be going for his first move. Watch how he catches it. He fakes that way, steps right back under. In basketball, they call that an up and under. You fake up, and then as the defensive player commits, you swing back underneath him.
Parrish completes the three-point play. He's got 22. McHale has 25, and Reggie Lewis 16. That's the front court bulge for the Celtics today. 97-79, just under 5 minutes to go. Rodman, no good on the layup. And the foul.
They're just talking. There's nothing going to happen here. Rodman is telling him nice hustle and nice defense. He really did. He played him well that time. But how many times have we seen a Detroit Piston today go down in that area and come up empty from 6 to 7 feet away? Now you say, well, what's the big deal? The big deal is give the Celtics credit for getting to the spot and forcing them to pull up and take the shot over them.
Rodman goes out to a huge chorus of boos and replaced by Vinnie Johnson. Reggie Lewis on the line, shooting 2. Lewis, Celtics are going to 79. The Pistons, who have given up an average of 101. That number is shattered today. Lane Beer. McHale tips it to Dennis Johnson. Saves it nicely. He's done 3 of those pirouettes falling off the court today to save the ball. Double on Parrish. Dennis Johnson. McHale. Pistons not blocking out. Their game has just dwindled.
Jimmy Rogers very happy. He's been extremely patient through all of the negative talk and people taking shots at them. He's remained patient. He has. Well, what I like about Dennis, he's been a teacher here for the younger players. Last year he took Reggie Lewis under his wing. Now he's put in an awful lot of time with Brian Shaw. Very unselfish, trying to help them to make major contributions here as young players.
Celtics have outscored the Pistons 9-0 in the last 3 minutes. Alley-oop, Edwards from Laimbeer. Picturesque and nothing doing, a jump ball. You know, you come in talking about the great defense by the Pistons as to why they have the second-best record in the league, but the Celtic defense in the second half has been marvelous.
It has been. There was another example of what we said before. There's a shot opportunity inside of 3 to 4 feet of the basket, and the Celtics come up and get between the release and the basket.
Bill Laimbeer with 14 points. Thomas leads Detroit with 26, but a 19-point lead by the Boston Celtics, headed for their 18th win in 38 starts this year. All they want to do is be healthy and ready to go when Larry Bird gets back. I don't think anyone's going to want to play this team in the first round of the playoffs. Nice. Lewis from McHale, blocked inside nicely. Dennis Johnson followed. Edwards cleared. Vinnie Johnson. And they're going to call McHale with the foul. I mean, there's a long way to the playoffs, but I don't think anyone's going to say, great, we can go against the Boston Celtics in the first round.
Well, you always check the total of away games at this time of the season.
One for Laimbeer. 100-82. Pistons headed for their 6th setback in a row on the road. They started the year going 6-0 away from the Palace. McHale, great feed from Lewis. And it'll still be Celtics ball.
See, the Celtics, off all these pick and rolls on the left side of the floor, the Celtics are doing an excellent job at stepping in to the dotted line area on the opposite side of the floor, Parrish and McHale, and they end up taking their man easily to the basket.
Under 3 minutes to go in the game.
There it is again.
Great feed, Ainge. McHale, he makes those a million times, and now it missed 2 in a row from in close.
But see, you're impressed with the work, but how about the passing?
Laimbeer again from outside. Too little too late for the Detroit Pistons. Keep in mind again, as you look at the 100-84 score, Adrian Dantley has 7 points today.
Well, Laimbeer started off great, but, you know, he cooled off. And then Rodman and Sally have not been able to make any kind of a push for them offensively.
Vinnie Johnson. In fact, Dantley is the only starter not in double figures for the Pistons today. They've only had scoring from 7 people.
Well, Jimmy Rogers has been very impressed with the Boston crowd. Their enthusiasm understood his house in his car. He couldn't put a notch in his belt for a W. Now some of the games are up in the air.
I like that. Vinnie Johnson gets the basket and draws the foul. 101-88. It's a 13-point game, and the Pistons are driving. Just getting the late weather report, I'm sure, in Miami. Johnny Most back in action. He'd been out with injury. We'll show you a lot of other people in the stands today who made their way on the Super Bowl Sunday. Vinnie Johnson converts. 101-89. 12-point game now. Trapping all over the court of the Pistons.
They cannot afford a foul because the Celtics are shooting.
Lewis. 19 for Reggie Lewis. He had a big game against the Bulls on CBS last Sunday. He'll call Dennis Johnson with the foul, and Vinnie Johnson will go to the line. 1:36 to go in the fourth quarter. And the Celtics, who lost twice to the Pistons earlier this year, headed for a victory here. And oddly enough, Detroit, after a long drought, has won 3 of its last 4 here in Boston, including the playoffs last year.
Well, the first game this year, they came in, did an excellent job, beat the Celtics by 9, and then Monday night in Detroit, beat them again by 9.
At the beginning,
the 115-point mark. You know, the game was competitive, and they really had a chance. Just go back here about 2 minutes, a couple of steals, and they would have been right back in this game.
And there's a steal right now. 3-on-2 break. Thomas. Rodman follows with the basket. 103-93. It's now down to 10. So a big lead of 21 points has been cut to 10 with a little over 1 minute to go.
I see people say, well, Detroit gets a steal and they take the 3-point shot. But Detroit today on Vinnie Johnson enabled Dennis Johnson to play Adrian Dantley, a big key in the game.
Basket good and a foul, Vinnie Johnson. There's Dantley, who's had a quiet afternoon. He had been red hot the last 5 games, averaging 25 and shooting 60%. Lead 105-96. Question is there enough time left for Detroit?
Well, if they could turn it over and hit a 3, then, you know, anything could happen here.
They fouled Dennis Johnson, also checked in for Detroit. That'll do it. The final score here at Boston Garden, the Green wins at home on the parquet, 112-99. We'll be back.